Throughout Europe, there are bridges so legendary that they are said to have been built with the help of the devil himself. These bridges, often called Devil's Bridges, hold an air of mystery, showcasing both awe-inspiring architecture and fascinating folklore. One of the most famous is Roanoke, located in Germany, renowned for its perfect circular reflection in the water, creating an otherworldly, almost supernatural, visual effect. Roanoke, or the Devil's Bridge, is located in the Kromlau Park of Saxony, Germany. It was constructed in the mid-19th century, specifically designed to form a perfect circle when reflected in the water. This bridge isn't just admired for its architectural beauty, but also for the legend behind its name. According to local lore, such bridges were so precariously built and so impressively engineered that they seemed impossible for humans to create without some otherworldly assistance. Hence the pact with the devil. The typical legend of a devil's bridge goes like this. A builder or architect makes a deal with the devil for his help in constructing an impossible bridge. In return, the devil asks for the soul of the first living being to cross the bridge. However, the clever architect usually tricks the devil by sending an animal, usually a dog or a goat, across the bridge instead of a human, enraging the devil who was expecting a human soul. He tries to destroy the bridge in a fit of rage, but the structure remains intact, a testament to both the builder's skill and the myth surrounding its construction. Bridges, in many cultures, represent transitions between worlds or realms, between life and death, the natural and the supernatural, or the known and the unknown. This is why so many of these ancient structures are tied to mythological tales involving the devil, a figure often seen as a guardian or trickster between these realms. Roanoke, with its dramatic arch and mystical reflection, certainly evokes that sense of otherworldliness, almost as if it's a portal to another dimension. Roanoke's design is as much a tribute to Gothic romanticism as it is to human ingenuity. The thin, exaggerated arch of the bridge blends perfectly with the surrounding landscape. During certain times of the day, when the water is still and the light is just right, the reflection forms a perfect circle, creating an almost supernatural illusion of a portal or ring. This visual spectacle reinforces the mythological and mystical connotations surrounding the bridge. Many visitors report feeling a sense of awe and eerie wonder as they approach the bridge, as if they are entering a magical or forbidden space. Roanoke is just one of many so-called devil's bridges across Europe. In France, there's the Pont du Diable near Serres and the Teufelsbrücke in Switzerland. Each of these bridges is tied to similar stories of impossible engineering feats and deals made with dark forces. Some are ancient, like Switzerland's Teufelsbrücke, which crosses the Reuss River and dates back to the 13th century, while others, like Roanoke, are more modern creations designed to evoke the mystical allure of these ancient legends. The Lost Colony of Roanoke. The mystery of Roanoke remains one of the most baffling enigmas in American history. In 1587, over 100 English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island, located in what is now North Carolina, to establish the first permanent English colony in the New World. By 1590, all of them had vanished without a trace, leaving behind a single cryptic clue, the word Croatoan, carved into a wooden post. To this day, the fate of the lost colony continues to puzzle historians and archaeologists alike. Roanoke was not England's first attempt at establishing a colony in North America. An earlier effort, in 1585, had failed due to conflicts with local Native American tribes and a lack of resources. However, Sir Walter Raleigh, who was granted permission by Queen Elizabeth I to colonize the area, remained determined. In 1587, a new group of settlers, led by Governor John White, arrived on Roanoke Island. This time, the group included women and children, suggesting a long-term plan for settlement rather than a military outpost. Governor White returned to England soon after establishing the colony to gather more supplies. However, England became embroiled in a war with Spain, delaying White's return by 3 years. When he finally arrived back at Roanoke in 1590, he found the colony completely deserted. The houses had been dismantled, and there was no sign of struggle or violence. The only hint of what might have happened was the word Croatoan carved into a post, which led White to believe the settlers had relocated to nearby Croatoan Island, home to a friendly Native American tribe. Yet, despite his attempts, White never found any trace of the colonists. There are theories about the fate of the Roanoke settlers. One of the most prominent suggests that they were absorbed into local Native American tribes, possibly the Croatoan tribe or other neighboring groups. Evidence supporting this theory includes reports of European-style houses in native villages and later sightings of native people with European features. However, other theories propose more grim outcomes, such as disease, starvation, or an attack by hostile tribes. Another possibility is that the settlers attempted to sail back to England on their own and were lost at sea. There is also speculation that they might have moved inland to find better land for farming and simply lost contact with the outside world. In recent years, archaeological evidence has been uncovered on Hatteras Island, formerly known as Croatoan Island, and on the mainland, that may provide further clues. However, the puzzle remains unsolved. Modern efforts to solve the mystery of Roanoke include DNA testing and archaeological digs. Some researchers hope that DNA from descendants of Native American tribes in the area might provide evidence of intermarriage with the settlers. Excavations have also unearthed artifacts that suggest European settlers may have lived alongside Native Americans. Despite these efforts, no definitive answer has yet been found, keeping the mystery of Roanoke alive. The Zodiac Killer. One of the most infamous serial killers in American history, the Zodiac Killer, terrorized California in the late 1960s and early 1970s. The killer is known not only for his brutal murders, but also for the cryptic letters and ciphers he sent to the media, taunting the police and public alike. Despite numerous investigations and a few prime suspects, the identity of the Zodiac Killer remains unknown, cementing this case as one of the most enduring unsolved mysteries in true crime history. The Zodiac's first confirmed attack took place on December 20, 1968, when teenagers Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday were shot and killed on Lake Herman Road near Vallejo, California. Just months later, on July 4, 1969, the killer struck again, attacking Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau. Ferrin was killed, but Mageau survived, providing the first known description of the killer. On August 1, 1969, the Zodiac began his infamous letter-writing spree, sending 3 nearly identical letters to the San Francisco Chronicle, San Francisco Examiner, and Vallejo Times-Herald. Each letter included a portion of a cipher that the Zodiac claimed would reveal his identity. He demanded that the letters be published, or he threatened to kill again. The cipher was cracked by amateur codebreakers, but it revealed little, only that the Zodiac claimed he killed for the thrill. In total, the Zodiac sent at least 21 letters to newspapers and police, often including strange symbols, cryptic messages, and taunting remarks about law enforcement's failure to catch him. The killer's communications were filled with threats, boasts, and disturbing details about his attacks. One of the most famous symbols associated with the Zodiac is the crosshair-like emblem he signed in many of his letters. On September 27, 1969, the Zodiac attacked Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard at Lake Berryessa. The killer wore a black executioner-style hood and a crosshair symbol on his chest. He stabbed both victims repeatedly, leaving a message on Hartnell's car door with his Zodiac symbol. Shepard later died, but Hartnell survived to provide another description of the attacker. Less than 2 weeks later, on October 11, 1969, cab driver Paul Stine was shot and killed in San Francisco's upscale Presidio Heights neighborhood. Unlike the Zodiac's earlier victims, Stine was not a young couple in a secluded area, making this attack different from the others. A letter sent after Stine's murder included a piece of his blood-stained shirt, proving that the Zodiac was responsible. Over the years, investigators have named a few key suspects, though no one has ever been definitively linked to the killings. One of the most prominent suspects was Arthur Lee Allen, a convicted child molester who lived near the sites of the Zodiac's early crimes. Although there were circumstantial links to Allen, such as a matching Zodiac watch and cryptic comments he made to friends, DNA evidence and handwriting comparisons have so far failed to conclusively link him to the murders. Another potential suspect was Lawrence Kane, a man with a violent history and possible connections to the Zodiac's victims. Kane had suffered brain damage from a car accident, which may have affected his ability to control his behavior. Some investigators believed that his background and the witness descriptions matched those of the Zodiac. In recent years, new suspects have emerged, including Gary Francis Post, a man some investigators believe may have been the Zodiac. However, no solid evidence has been presented to confirm this. Stonehenge. Stonehenge is perhaps the world's most famous prehistoric monument. Located in Wiltshire, England, it has captured imaginations for centuries, drawing millions of visitors each year. But beyond its iconic stone circle, the true history of Stonehenge is a fascinating and complex story that stretches back over 5,000 years. Built in phases and serving various purposes, this Neolithic site has deep connections to ancient human rituals, astronomical events, and early engineering marvels. The story of Stonehenge begins around 3000 BC, when an early monument was constructed as a simple circular earthwork enclosure. This period marks the first phase of Stonehenge's development. Archaeologists have uncovered evidence of cremation burials from this time, making it clear that the site was used as a burial ground in its early years. The ditches and banks created at this stage would later become part of a much larger and more complex structure. It wasn't until around 2500 BC that the iconic stone circle was erected. The stones were carefully transported from distant quarries, with the smaller blue stones coming from the Preseli Hills in Wales, over 150 miles away. This incredible feat of transportation, without the use of modern tools or machinery, demonstrates the determination and ingenuity of the Neolithic people. The larger sarsen stones, weighing up to 25 tons each, were sourced much closer, from Marlborough Downs. The arrangement of Stonehenge is no accident. The stones are carefully positioned to align with key solar events, particularly the midwinter sunset and midsummer sunrise, which suggests that the monument served as an ancient calendar or place of worship tied to the sun's movements. This would have been crucial for agricultural societies that relied on the seasons for planting and harvesting. Stonehenge also may have served as a site for rituals and ceremonies, possibly connected to life and death. Some researchers believe that the blue stones held a special significance, possibly imbued with healing properties or a connection to the ancestors. The burial sites, along with the evidence of large gatherings of people, suggest that Stonehenge was a central hub for religious activities and gatherings, attracting visitors from distant regions. Stonehenge wasn't an isolated monument. It was part of a much larger landscape, filled with other ceremonial sites and structures, including burial mounds and long barrows. The monument is part of an ancient network of ceremonial avenues and paths, some of which align with the River Avon. This landscape speaks to the deep cultural and spiritual importance of Stonehenge to the people who built it. It's believed that the site's builders used Stonehenge to connect the world of the living with the world of the dead. As the monument evolved over the centuries, its importance to different societies grew. By the Bronze Age, the use of Stonehenge had declined, though it was never forgotten. The monument's mystery has continued to inspire myths, legends, and fascination through the ages. Even today, visitors from all over the world come to witness the sunrise at Stonehenge during the summer solstice, just as people did thousands of years ago. Despite centuries of study, there is still much we don't know about Stonehenge. However, ongoing excavations and advancements in technology, such as ground-penetrating radar and 3D scanning, have allowed archaeologists to uncover new insights about the site. Recent discoveries have expanded our understanding of the site's construction phases, its role in Neolithic society, and its connection to other nearby structures. In recent years, the focus has shifted to understanding the people who built Stonehenge. Excavations at Durrington Walls, just 2 miles away, have revealed the remains of a large Neolithic settlement, where thousands of people might have lived while they constructed Stonehenge. The discovery of animal bones and pottery suggests that large feasts took place here, possibly to celebrate the construction or completion of the monument. Continues to uncover more details, helping us piece together the fascinating history of one of the world's greatest prehistoric landmarks. As we learn more about the ancient builders and the culture that thrived around Stonehenge, the monument's significance only grows. The Antikythera mechanism. The Antikythera mechanism stands as one of the most remarkable and enigmatic discoveries from the ancient world. Unearthed in 1901 from a shipwreck near Antikythera, Greece, this bronze device dating back to around 150 to 100 BCE is often regarded as the world's first analog computer. But what makes this artifact so extraordinary? Body. The mechanism was found by sponge divers exploring an ancient shipwreck. encased in corroded metal and marine deposits. The fragments initially did not reveal their true